Hi, I'm Anna, the content creator for Marshall Communications, and since July is National Blueberry Month, I thought I'd share my favorite recipe for blueberry muffins using none other than Wyman's Wild Blueberries. We're honored to be working with Wyman's. They are a Maine-based, family-owned company since 1874, and this summer they're going to be out with their Be Wild mobile. They'll be going to parks and attractions and events and giving away free samples and giveaways and games. So keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, let's make these muffins. So the first step in making our blueberry muffins is to preheat the oven to 375. And then while that's preheating, we're gonna make a streusel topping for the muffins, which is just butter and sugar and cinnamon, and it makes those super tasty little bits on top of the muffin. If you're in a hurry, you can always skip this step, but if you're not, they're awesome. So, half a cup of sugar, half a cup of flour, and half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then we're gonna whisk this together, and then I've melted a quarter cup of butter, just right here. And then I'm gonna mix that in too once I get the dry ingredients all incorporated. To me, the streusel topping is like what makes a regular homemade muffin into something way better and maybe, fancy bakery level quality. Okay, so once you get the dry ingredients mixed, and then I'm just gonna mix this up and then keep it in the fridge until it's time to top the muffins before we bake them. The first step in making the muffins is combining some of the wet ingredients into a large bowl. So we are taking one large egg, a half cup of oil, I just use vegetable oil, and then a third cup of milk, 2/3 cup of sugar, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And we're just gonna mix this together, and then we'll add our dry ingredients on top. And that's one of the reasons why I love this recipe, is that it's one bowl. So it makes it easier. Now onto the dry ingredients. I'm taking 1¼ cup of flour, and I'm just gonna put it on top of this wet stuff here. Teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm just going to sort of lightly combine these on top of the wet ingredients until they're fairly well incorporated. And then I'm just going to start mixing in until everything's mixed up. You don't want any lumps, but you also don't want to overmix. So just keep an eye on it. Once the batter is mixed, we're now going to mix in a half cup of sour cream. And just stir until that's evenly distributed through the batter. And then adding the blueberries. I've already prepped my muffin tin, and I sprayed the whole thing with cooking spray before I put the little cups in, just because I hate it when the muffin tops stick to the sides and then they tear when you take them out, but that's just me. So once the sour cream's mixed in, we're gonna put in a cup of our wild blueberries. So since I'm putting the streusel on top, I'm not gonna leave out some blueberries, but if you don't put the streusel on top, leave out about half of the blueberries, and then you're gonna dot the top of the muffin dough before you bake it so that they don't sink all to the bottom. Okay. Now, for really big, fluffy top muffins, I'm gonna actually fill these cups all the way to the top. If you want smaller muffins, like muffins that don't go over the edge, you would only do maybe 2/3 of the way, half the cup. So when I get these all filled, I'm gonna take my streusel, which I took out of the fridge, and I'm just gonna use my fingers and take some yummy crumbles and do a nice generous sprinkle to all of them. And then I'm gonna bake them for 30 minutes because I'm using the frozen blueberries. If you're using non-frozen blueberries, just reduce that time by maybe 5 minutes before you check on them. Here is our beautiful streusel-topped blueberry muffin. Perfect for breakfast or for an afternoon snack that you can feel good about because of all those antioxidants that the wild blueberries have. I hope you make these muffins and that you enjoy them.